I'm John Mazoch from Bueche, Louisiana, down where it's really hot. I'm a veterinarian, and we've been in the cattle business for at least 30 years plus. And we've been using Gardiner Influence at least 13 plus years, I would say. And it's been really good for us. You know, down in Louisiana, we have a bad reputation for, not the best genetics in our cattle, and so we was trying to improve it, and a few of us tried to be more aggressive breeders and more proactive and want to advance and get the most out of our herd. And so what we've done, we went up to visit Mr. Henry Gardiner and his wife, Cooper and I, and John Barry, three of us, and that's where we started from. And we were buying bulls locally and around, and we were trying to increase or improve our genetics. And so that's where we started. And from there we've just been very successful with it. Well, when I first started in the cattle business, if we got a 550 calf, and we used to contract our calves at 550 and 5 1/4, and that's that was real good weights back then. And so, for the extra work, we wanted to improve that, along with genetics, and eventually our goals was for to go ahead and feed them, retain ownership, and which we did for several years. But lately, the market's too high to take the risk, and you can only do it with better genetics, and that's where we had to branch out. We were getting average bulls, and our weights did increase, but we eventually got better and better with the genetics. And eventually you have to try something before you can sell it, and that was our main goal. We wanted to be see what it would do for us, and it was working for us, and then it just gradually kept growing. I mean, with the genetics that we were using and people were seeing, and our cattle base was a little bit too much ear or too much Bramer influence, and we were trying to do the same with a lot less ear, and they were more docile. I think in our area, biggest part of our cattle half Bramer influence. And we have to have some Bramer influence just for the heat factors that we have here, and with parasites, and just to get out and hustle. With the Mark and them's genetics, after going up there, we were able to accomplish that slowly. And now it's taken 15 years probably to get where we're at, but we're still not there. We still, improving our genetics. And I'd say 10 years ago, when I really started into the bull business with them and helping people down here, it used to be all sale barn, but now I would say 80% of our cattle go to private treaty or video or satellite or something like that. And, they were having problems, and if, as a veterinarian, you want to, minimize your work, and their bulls have really helped us there. And the genetics there, and getting the same weights, maybe a little less, but they was able to contract their calves a little easier. I learned from Mark, or another gentleman told me years ago, numbers are pretty much everything. If he looks good, that's just a plus. But this is the first time I really met Mark, and we've been doing business over the phone. We should know each other very well, but I've been relying on him. He knows what we want, and the producers, he'll pick out kind of what works in our area, and it's been really good for us. It's a lot of information, but you have to use it wisely. I mean, the more information we have, the more tools we have to work with, and that's good for our industry. And I think you got to be proactive, and you got to be aggressive, and to stay in any business this day and time. Well, I have a good client south that has some F1 cattle out of Gardiner's, and he breeds them back to Gardiner. So I'm able to keep some quarter into my ear, what we call quarter Bramer influence. And I still like a quarter or an eighth. It's, you know, we can breed ourselves completely out of it, and it's just hard for that cow to adapt if we don't have a little bit of Bramer influence in our cattle. And I think with the Bramer influence, especially if you get a Bramer dam bred to a good Angus bull, she teaches that calf to get out there and hustle. You know, when it's hot in the sun, she's out there grazing where that calf is following her. In our area, that makes a big difference. Well, I do use the guaranteed Gardiner genetic tags on our calves every year, and well, for the last 2 or 3 years. Lately, I've been having a buyer that's been wanting their genetics, and you know, I've been selling to him for the last 3 or 4 years. This is 4th year, so he knows what they'll do. And I help another fellow buy cattle down here, and he wants their genetics too. He's, you know, it's helped him sell his calves, you know, in the other return. They've been growing, and the buyers have been buying them, and you know, repeat buyers is what we, in every business you have to have a repeat buyer. So we're trying to do that, improve that as we go.